If you're unaware, we're in a sassy man apocalypse. For the women not being approached by men, it's not you, it's the men. And for the men, if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. So let me give some of these men examples. And this is from my data and my research. I'm not making this up. This is true. To tell you if you're part of the sassy man apocalypse.
My favorite thing to say is that we're in a sassy man apocalypse. I was having a conversation with a guy today and we were talking about the sassy man apocalypse. He brought it up and he was like,
sorry, I just watched the most nonsensical video ever, so now we're going to talk about sassy men. Have you been called sassy in the past few days? Watch this video because I'm about to tell you why.
Apparently I'm a lesbian because every single guy that I'm with seems to forget that there's supposed to be a man in the relationship. So instead, I'm just stuck with two women, me and him.
Alrighty, gentlemen. Sometimes, my friends, I think I lose a few brain cells when I have to bring you this sort of content. But it is essential for especially young men to realize that they're dealing with a serious group of women who are pushing an agenda. It's almost like a psychological warfare to break you, to constantly demean you, to use terms like sassy, gay, soft, anything to make you feel less of a man, in order to actually make you feel that you should contribute to her. This is all this is about. So in today's episode, my friends, we're going to talk about the sassy men's apocalypse. I can't even say it right. Yeah, this whole new trend now, the whole sassy man's apocalypse. I'm a grown-ass man. Why am I talking about this shit? But it's necessary. Subscribe, my friends. Please like this video on the way in. Listen, gentlemen, I deal a lot with relationships, and unfortunately, this is the content I have to bring you so that in order to keep you well informed as you enter into the relationship market. Now, a lot of us who are following this channel are more mature men, but we also have to understand that there's a massive group of young men who are trying to navigate the relationship world that I also have to speak to. And that's why I would always encourage you to share this with your sons, share this with your daughters, so that they can get some sort of clue and some sort of grasp into what we have to deal with in today's dating market, so that we can have some measure of success. So let's get into this whole phenomenon that I'm currently seeing on TikTok, the sassy man apocalypse.
If you're unaware, we're in a sassy man apocalypse. For the women not being approached by men, it's not you, it's the men. And for the men, if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. So let me give some of these men examples. And this is from my data and my research. I'm not making this up. This is true. To tell you if you're part of the sassy man apocalypse. Okay. For one, if you ask, what do you bring to the table? Of course, you're probably the ringleader of the sassy man apocalypse. What do you bring to the table?
So, gentlemen, all you're going to see right here, right now, is this is another word for when women are not getting their way. So if you request a 50-50 relationship, you're sassy. You're a sassy man. You can't make this shit up, man. And they will use these terms effectively to break you, gentlemen. Please bear this in mind. Because you don't want to be called sassy, do you?
How does this benefit me? How do you benefit me? What are you doing for me? Anything with me. You have been infected by the sassy man apocalypse. 2, if you are not approaching women because you're afraid of rejection and you're just tired of the rejection, or you're tired of not finding what you want out of a woman and you feel like you're the prize and you should be chased, you're infected by the sassy man apocalypse. Now, if you're not approaching women because you're just not interested right now, you're working on you, that's a healed man. That's not a sassy man. That's a healed man. But if you're not approaching women because you feel like they should be approaching you, or they should come to you, or you're just over women, but you want a woman, yeah, you're in the sassy man apocalypse.
I swear to God, it sounds like I'm listening to my 14-year-old. Jesus, man. In other words, if it isn't about her, you're sassy. You do not ever think that anything should be about you, young man or old man. You're sassy. Listen, man, you older guys, you guys can get caught into this shit as well. Men who have been out of the market for a while and then women start throwing off these terms and you're trying to be cool and you're trying to enter back into the dating market and you hear this shit, this will affect you. Okay? Because now all of a sudden you think you need to conform in order to be accepted by this new generation of women. So, my friends, you have to understand when you're being psychologically manipulated. Let's hear what another lady says.
My favorite thing to say is that we're in a sassy man apocalypse. I was having a conversation with a guy today and we were talking about the sassy man apocalypse. He brought it up and he was like, women love to say that we're in a sassy man apocalypse. And I'm like, because we literally are. These men have attitudes. A lot of them are walking around like they're the prize. He raised a few points to which I will say two things. If I am the prize and I choose my man and my man chooses me, he is also the prize. I'm also winning. We're both winning. If I pick him, the man that I choose, he's going to be the prize in the sense that he's the man that I want. He's the provider. He's my protector. He makes me feel secure. He makes me feel safe. He's all these things that I want in a guy. That also makes him the prize. Don't get me wrong. I'm also the prize and I'm providing whatever it is that he wants. I think it's important that we remember that relationships are two-way streets, and just as much as you expect from somebody else, you have to be just as good of a partner to that person. I think that we lose that in translation a lot when we are speaking about like female empowerment and everything like that. I'm really fucking greasy. I don't know what. Me and my friend.
She's a little bit more reasonable, but nowhere, no how do they define how they contribute back to a man. Oh, he's a protector, provider, but what does she actually contribute to him in order for her to be the prize? Some overused panani? Ooh, at least back in the day, men got virgins. So what else does a woman bring to the table in order for her to be a prize? What value? I'm going to stop using this term, what she brings to the table, because that phrase have been so overused. Gentlemen, you start asking women, what value do you contribute to the relationship? What value are bringing to this relationship? I'm going to protect and provide you. Okay, great. So what value are you bringing? And if she can't answer that question, then there's no further discussion. You know that you are the prize. Because there's one thing about a prize. It has value. It has some sense of value.
Sorry, I just watched the most nonsensical video ever, so now we're going to talk about sassy men. Have you been called sassy in the past few days? Watch this video because I'm about to tell you why. Sassy men has got nothing to do with you man needing to show your emotions and crying and being honest about how you feel. Okay? Sassy men has got nothing to do with men that know how to take care of themselves and have good bodily hygiene. Yeah? Sassy men has got everything to do with men now being involved in women's business. We're talking about women's makeup. Do you buy makeup? Are you yourself? In fact, let's even say it's women's business, because you are not even a makeup buyer or wearer. Why would you now decide to have input into something to do with makeup and a woman's face? Because me personally, I've not sat here and told you lot what hairstyle I think should work on you. Obviously, we all have our preferences. And do you know what I do with my preference? I go and find somebody that has that preference. Every 5 minutes, girls that wear makeup, why don't you just do eyelashes and lip gloss? Why don't you just go and date those girls, huh? Like, listen, these boys are actually not well. They will be screaming this preference, but they will go and harass a girl that does full face mac. You harass us. Leave me alone. And do you know what they'll do? They'll steady try and change you. Oh, you should stop wearing this. Because you linked me with Fenty. Don't try and make me Rare Beauty eyebrow soap stupid. No. We call you lot sassy when you have input in things that you don't need to be involved in. No.
So now the man should have no input into her fashion choice. So if she wants to wear the full face of makeup, or what I call the mask, literally, it's just like literally pulling a mask off. Everything is attached. The hair, the eyelashes, the entire makeup. And under all of that, if the man says, I want to see that, you are sassy because you are interfering with that, my friends. She wants to wear that mask. That mask is who she is. And you're sassy if you ask her to take off the mask. Yeah, make that shit make sense. In other words, women want to be left to their own devices and get away with any shit and have no one say anything about anything that they do. Nothing. She's basically saying, leave me alone, that's sassy, I am looking for a simp. Get out of the way so that I can find my simp to put up with any shit that I want and that I can suck him as much as I can without him putting up any fight whatsoever. That's basically what she's saying.
I am a victim of the sassy man apocalypse. If you don't know what the sassy man apocalypse is, these men are just sassy as fuck. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of what I've dealt with during the sassy man apocalypse. Men are just like expecting the world, and it's like, babe, we've only been on like 2 dates, barely. This man I was seeing, and you know what? I'm going to address it now. I did delete the TikTok. I deleted the TikTok of like, oh my God, we're doing casual now. We're not doing fucking casual now. I'm over it. I don't want anything to do with that man anymore. I fucking lied. Man I was seeing, barely seeing. When I mean seeing, I was like probably talking for like a couple weeks. Like we went on one official date. Reminder. I invited him over to hang out, and this is like the 3rd time that we just like hung out, cool, relaxed.
Look at that mask, man. Just totally different from her own skin color. This is insane. Women have normalized makeup to the point where, you know, in the past, a woman would never make you see her putting on makeup. That was her private thing. She would only make you see her when she's fully made up. They have now normalized makeup to the point now where, hey, you can see me before and after, and you still have to accept the after because that's who I am. Do you understand how you're being manipulated to the point where they have normalized looking like someone else? Not their original, not who they are, someone else. And that is the normal that you should accept. Think about that shit. Every single video that you see, my friend, the majority of the videos that you're seeing on TikTok are women putting on their mask. And you have to accept them for that freaking mask. Even though the transformation have been done in front of your eyes, you have to accept the mask as the person who is the 10. Do you understand the psychological manipulation that has to occur in your brain in order for you to see the made-up mask person as the real person? This is why I'm trying to get you guys to understand how you're being manipulated. She wasn't making any sense. Let's go to the next one.
Do you dolls ever feel like the reason why there's a sassy man apocalypse is because men can't control whether or not we have credit cards or can buy a house and have a job? So they're like, I guess our only option is to just be a little bitch. But then I think about like my dad, my grandpa, and I'm like, men were always bitches. They're just like more empowered now to be.
There's the manipulation. Subtle way of saying you are not man enough to be with me.
I feel like sassy now is being associated with men that are being emotionally in tune. And that pisses me off. Like, I feel like this little sassy era is it's shallow. It's like an insecure woman basically telling you insecure because you want to express your emotion and you want to be emotional. But a couple years ago, it was, men aren't communicating with us. I'm so sad. Like, tell me how you feel. Now men are being more in tune with themselves and expressing themselves, and now it's a problem. I don't really understand what women want at this point. I don't really feel like sassy men is really a huge thing. Like, I just feel like that's a word that insecure women have made to make men feel like if you speak up for yourself, you a bitch or you bitching.
Oh, that was such a relief. A woman that actually identifies and get it. There's one thing that's very obvious, gentlemen, is that the manosphere. And what is manosphere? Man and atmosphere. Manosphere. Men's space. That's it. Atmosphere, space. A man's space, that's all manosphere is growing significantly. And our voices are now being combined in a massive way. And women are waking up and realizing it. And so they have to try to tear it down. They're trying to tear down the whole concept of red pill. And so the mainstream media, Hollywood, have gripped on to the manosphere and the red pill concept like freaking hyenas with red meat. They're trying to rip it apart. They're trying to give the manosphere and the red pill concept a bad name. So now you're going to see a lot more series that are going to be pushing this concept. But the women are also pushing on the other side, calling men bad names calling men sassy because we're standing up to their bullshit. There are women now who just don't even want to talk to other men who have embraced Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit and the manosphere. If women ever hear any of these concepts dealing with the manosphere, they're out. And this is good, gentlemen, because you get to eliminate the women who don't have your interests in mind. look at that as a filtering mechanism. Because any woman who comes at you and she's selfish as hell, and it's all about me, and you're looking for a serious relationship, get the hell out. This is the best filtering mechanism that you'll ever have. Now, if you just want to hit it, have some fun, by all means, feed her the bullshit. No, girl, no. Feed her the bullshit. No, you misunderstood me. And listen, I'm not trying to convince you to be an asshole, my friends. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that women are not playing nice in this sandbox. And if you're coming to the sandbox being this nice guy, you're going to get bent over and literally a big log is going to be inserted somewhere that you're not going to feel comfortable with, because that's what they will do to you. What do you think Shannon Sharp is going through right now? He's getting reamed because he went to the play box and thought that he would play by her rules. Every single man who have played by the blue pill book have gotten bent over and screwed royally. This is why I keep trying to tell you guys, you don't play nice with women who don't want to play nice.
I can't do the sassy men, okay? I can't do it because I'm the princess, not you. If you're going to act like the princess, then what are we doing here?
Hello, it's fellow Prince Santiago here. I will be taking over from this point forward. So we got girl number 2,376 making a video alone in her car complaining about sassy men. And by sassy men, 99% of the time, if you ask this girl for an example, it's probably going to be like a guy asking for like basic levels of respect. And then this grown adult is saying, well, I want to be treated like a princess. Yeah, you sound like a 3-year-old who's playing dress up with their father. But anyways, she also has in her caption, cue the sassy men in the comments in 3, 2, 1. I think it's funny when girls make these stupid videos and then their whole thing is like, anybody who disagrees with me, you're actually sassy and gay. They try to put up this like metaphorical shield because they try to sink down to like this 3rd grade level insults by calling men sassy or gay. And then if you try to just go and explain why what they're saying is dumb, they're like, oh, so you're sassy. She literally has a video 1 week before this video complaining how she never wants to date a guy who's nonchalant. So you don't want to date a guy who's sassy. You don't want to date a guy who's like too calm. What are we going for here? She's so uncreative. She literally doesn't have any other insults besides the fact that you're either sassy or gay. She has another video about 2 weeks before this video. And she says that when she hears stories about how men are mistreating women, the answer is they're probably gay.
I'm so sorry, but there are so many situations where somebody will tell me something that a man did, and I'm like, babes, he likes men. He's treating you like that because he likes men. He's cheating on you like that because he likes men.
Yes, so a guy who cheats on his girlfriend with more women, it's probably because he's gay. This is who you're taking advice from, ladies. I guarantee you, these are the same women that if they have a gay best friend, they'd be like, no, he's my best friend. I don't have any problem with gay people. It's just that anytime I'm mistreated or angry or upset, I just want to use, their sexuality as an insult. But no, I don't have a problem with them. No. Because I find it quite ironic. These girls literally complain if you ask them to do one singular thing to show that they actually care about their metaphorical boyfriends, husbands, whoever. They'll complain about that one singular thing. But then on the opposite end, they want this guy to go and do that every single day. They want to go give them everything. And they don't expect after, 10 years that this is going to get a little bit boring. Maybe he's not going to want to be in that relationship. Then if he ends up cheating, guys, it's actually because he's super, super gay, guys. He slept with all of those women besides you because he was secretly gay. So you can end your countdown now because my sassy man rant is over with. But that's just my opinion. But hey.
Oh, this brother nailed it. Brother nailed it. This is what we're dealing with, gentlemen. So if you encounter any of these women with this bullshit about sassy man and sassy man apocalypse crap, shut it down. Shut it down quick. Because if a woman isn't going to show you what she's going to contribute to you in the relationship positively, get the hell out. Because this crap just keeps getting worse and worse. And we want to encourage healthy relationships.
He's a sassy man. A self-proclaimed high value man. That's what do you bring to the table and Otto man. Men are the real prize kind of man, but how can I lose when I'm already chose? He's a man who thinks that you should chase him type of man, who insists on asking, well, what if I want flowers too kind of man. Never wants to lift a finger type of man. Takes 2 trips to bring in groceries kind of man. Drags his feet so that you'll end up doing it sort of man. Always talking about women's bodies kind of man. That real smug, full of attitude kind of man. That hip drop neck roll when impersonating you kind of man. That love to hate but you equally appreciate kind of man. To the sassy man, You better work, bitch.
All right, my friends, I think I'm going to leave it there. Like this video on the way out, my friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. And so, until tomorrow, remember, whenever in doubt, always, always ask an older man. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.